Chapter 20, Gathering of the Choirs. Entertaining itself by randomly firing bursts of energy from its fingers into the distance, and laughing as each explosion brings forth a red mushroom of death into the sky, the Magog slowly makes its way north of Dwarka, towards the next largest city of Samsara. Enkidu and Haida ride swiftly ahead of the beast, trying to reach the city first as it lies directly in the Magog's path. The horrific creature would not blink before wiping out the city and its remaining inhabitants from the face of the earth. Taken to safety by Zyle, Enkidu and Haida can only watch as the Magog continues to wreak destruction across their world. "What do we do now?" Haida asks, looking out at the expanded sea. Having swallowed Dwarka and miles of surrounding areas, the water extends out far beyond any previous borders, shaping the land anew. "Nowhere will be safe from that creature," Enkidu says weakly. His face has grown pale and sickly. "It will consume this world." "We cannot give up. How can you just accept that our world is lost? You are a warrior, are you not?" The young woman's words do not provoke him. He is far too tired. "That beast is beyond the abilities of any man. Only the Creator himself could fell a darkness such as that." "I'm surprised that you, of all people, have given up so easily," Zyle says. "I thought better of you, Enkidu, descendant of the 9th choir." "I lost my sword to the sea," Enkidu laments. "I am unworthy of my ancestors." Zyle shakes his head in disappointment. "That is too bad. I had intended to lend support to the descendant of the Nephilim. Even with your aid, it would not be enough. That creature cannot be stopped." Zyle looks out across the sea, his superior vision locating the Magog many miles out. "I did not think that I would see the Magog again in this world." "You know this beast?" Enkidu whispers. Zyle nods. "It is the curse of humanity, a validation of the worries of both sane and Sataniel." "You are a Yazata?" Haida asks, finding the man strange and smelling foul. "Long ago," Zyle whispers. He notices the girl looking at him with apprehension. "I gave up on that life when those closest to me began killing each other in needless war. The insanity disillusioned me, and I hid myself in the wilderness of this human world." "But you still have your powers?" Haida asks. "You healed Enkidu's wounds. Can you restore his lost stamina?" Zyle thinks upon all the countless people who threw themselves at the shores of his lake, crying out for healing. He ignored them all, turning inward and closing off all compassion. "If I restored you, would you use your renewed life to fight or to flee?" Zyle asks. "There is no point in either," Enkidu says, resigned to die. "This world and all in it are at their conclusion." Zyle shrugs. "He has no will left in him. Unless you intend to take up a sword on his behalf, this is where the journey of Enkidu Hyalura ends." Haida reaches out, fire in her eyes. "Then give me a sword that I may. Were it not for Enkidu, I would have been a slave to the evil and hatred in my heart, and ended up at the bottom of the sea with everyone else." "You would die for him?" Zyle asks, intrigued. "You have known him but days." "Better to die on my feet than on my back," Haida replies, impressing the Grigori with her fierceness. "You have found yourself a strong mate," Zyle laughs. "Pull yourself together and gather your pride, for her sake." Enkidu looks up in confusion, unable to comprehend how Haida's will remained so strong. "If you lack courage, lean on hers," Xyle says. Cling together and share that burden. Why are you trying to help me? Enkidu asks. I thought that you wanted to be left alone. Xyle grins, kneeling beside Enkidu and consuming his body in the warm glow of healing magic. Something about you left a strange impression on me. Ever since you came to my island and demanded I release the river, I could not stop thinking about you or your claims. If you truly are a descendant of the Nephilim, then you're the bridge that my brothers were never able to cross. The love the Creator had for humanity spurred jealousy in the rebellion, yet others shared this love and brought it one step further. You gave me hope that our worlds could one day coexist as one. Xyle's eyes begin to tear up. In that world, my own sins would have been unnecessary. Enkidu stands, feeling stronger than ever before. Thank you. There is no need, Xyle says, waving off his gratitude. It is you who has saved me. Do you have a sword that you could lend me? Enkidu asks, stretching out his muscles. So, you have changed your mind? I am ashamed that in my despair, cowardice overtook me. I shall never again give up so easily. Xyle conjures a cyan blade, composed of thrashing waters. He tosses his Yazatan-issued sword to Enkidu. Call upon the name of Ishin. My sword has a special ability that is difficult to control, but if you can bear it, the power generated will be overwhelming, and not even the Magog should be able to withstand. Enkidu takes Haida's hand. Thank you for having faith in me when I had lost all hope. Please return. That is all I ask, she replies in tears. Enkidu nods and Xyle holds his arms out. Are you ready? Taking hold of the Grigori Yazata, Enkidu is whisked away with Shunkon Ido. The duo teleports to the new southwestern shore of the Zhang Sea and the underwater ruins of Samsara. A small group of humans have survived, clinging to the peaks of the North Ashis Pass. There they have nowhere to go to escape the Magog as it approaches. The beast senses their life energy and desires only to erase them from its perception. Do you remember me, creature? Enkidu asks, extending Ishin. This time, you shall not so easily dispose of me. The Magog studies them carefully, confused that it is unable to sense the energy of the dirty Pale One at all. When I release my power, block me out. Otherwise, you will not be able to focus, Xyle explains. The Yazata slowly reaches for an old ring covered with grime nestled firmly upon his finger. Once I begin to fight, I will never again be able to return into hiding. He sighs, accepting his fate. I have hidden long enough, I suppose. Removing the Warna ring, Xyle's full power is unleashed. Energy wings unfold behind the Yazata and his hair stands on end, glowing with otherworldly strength. Enkidu tries to ignore the Yazata's intense energy, but it bears down upon him, making it difficult to breathe. Focus on the Magog, Xyle shouts. It has been over 1,000 years since I engaged in combat, so I do not think I will be able to last for long. Give everything you have and hold nothing back. Enkidu nods and grips the sword tightly. Ishin, I call upon you. Grant me strength. With the invocation, the blade begins to vibrate wildly. Enkidu struggles to maintain his grip on the weapon. Kaparu! Xyle screams, seaweed shooting up from the water to bind the Magog firmly. He holds his sword overhead, the blade transforming into an enormous water dragon. Enkidu's arm feels like it's being torn apart, but he holds his sword steadfast. Devour, Levias, Zyle shouts, sending the water dragon out to attack the Magog. Screaming, Enkidu slashes his sword up towards the Magog. Hundreds of crescents of energy launch from the blade, tearing through the Magog with fury. Levias seals their offensive, leaving nothing behind as it drives its bulk down through the sea floor. Waves crash against the shore, causing Zyle and Enkidu to retreat to higher ground in the North Ashis Pass. "Well done," Zyle says, complimenting Enkidu. Enkidu does not hear his words, his mind consumed by agonizing pain. His right arm hangs down lifelessly, wrecked by the powerful sword technique. Zyle observes the wounds thoughtfully. He is pulled out of his thoughts by the churning of the sea. "Damn," Zyle whispers. "It's more powerful than I had feared." He again looks at Enkidu's arm. "You must become even stronger. I fear that I do not have the time to teach you how to properly wield Ishin." "Take it back," Enkidu coughs. "I am sure that you could do more damage." Zyle shakes his head. "By removing my Warna and releasing my power, I have announced my presence. Soon, I will once again become hunted as a deserter and a traitor. By my side, you too would be killed. No. There is only one way we can proceed." Without warning, Zyle severs Enkidu's right arm at the shoulder. The man screams in agony, blood spraying out like a fountain from the wound. Before Enkidu can bleed out, Zyle cuts off his own right arm and attaches it to Enkidu with healing magic. Stopping his own bleeding, Zyle prepares himself for a final showdown with the Magog. The power to properly use Ishin is already trained into that arm. Do not squander my gift and get killed. You must survive and be victorious, Zyle says. The Magog emerges from the sea unharmed. Train extensively, and do not engage the Magog again until you are absolutely certain that you can win. If you are killed, there will be no one else left to save this world. Enkidu is about to protest, but he is removed from the battle in an instant by Zyle's teleportation. The humans hiding amongst the pass, too, were moved to safety. Zyle grins, thinking himself soft for saving the humans, after all he has done to scorn them in the past. Humans gave you life, but it will also be a human that destroys you, Zyle says. The Magog hisses with anger, transforming its arms into elongated blades. The two warriors collide, Zyle blocking one of the Magog's arms with his sword. White-hot pain blossoms from the Yazata's mind, as the Magog's other arm pierces his torso. Before Zyle can think to retaliate or teleport away, the Magog rips its arm free from his body and separates the Yazata into two bloody halves. Enkidu pounds his fists on the ground, cursing loudly. "Damn him! How dare he give his life for me!" He sees large waves coming towards them from aftershocks. "Come on! We need to leave this area!" As the two flee, the Magog destroys the North Ashis Pass, allowing the sea to swell out further and consume the ghost town of Benares and the northern portion of the Ayodhya. The sky flashes in a strobe as hundreds of white lights sparkle into existence around the Magog. The elite members of the 7th Choir, led by Lieutenant Taniel, stand against the frightening collection of sin incarnate. Taller than his peers and more muscular, the lieutenant is built for combat. He has fought in 1,000 battles over a span of hundreds of thousands of years. Taniel stands his ground in front of the Magog and studies it with wizened gray eyes. On the Yazata's armor is the emblem of 2 crossed swords. Old scars and dents decorated the once white gold armor, showing he has survived through much violence. The host of Anshar appears before the Magog, prepared for battle. The Yazata form a last stand against the beast between it and the next human settlement in its path. Everything east of the Ashis Mountains lies in ruin at the bottom of the expanded sea. The humans that now survive all lie past this range. If the Magog is able to proceed, they too will be annihilated. Drawing his diamond-bladed sword, Taniel addresses his enemy. Offspring of sin, stand down or be slain for another span of millennia. The Magog growls, balling its fists. It is not amused by the Yazata's threats. The front line of warriors instinctively take several steps back in fear. Do not be fearful of this abomination. Our blades are stronger and sharper than its sin. Taniel whispers a simple invocation, catching his sword on fire. With a single swing, he causes tremendous winds to swirl around the sea. The Magog howls as the flames sear through its midsection and cut a deep fiery trench into the earth for miles. Tilting his sword to the side, Taniel slashes horizontally and cuts the Magog into fourths, as well as parting the great sea into the horizon. As soon as the four pieces of the Magog hit the ground, Taniel sheathes his sword and immediately calls forth a complex, binding spell in his mind and executes it without having to speak any incantation. Layer after layer of energy barriers pile atop the fragments, encasing them in an inescapable prison. After energy barriers, a metal dome forms over them, followed by phantom doors that close around the entire mass and tightly shut. As the doors close and lock, the entire prison vanishes. Having never seen a legendary Seraphim warrior in combat, Enkidu is left speechless. Enkidu Hyalora, a Yazatan Seraphim asks, walking towards the humans. Enkidu blinks, unable to respond. The brilliance of the being is blinding, and he is unable to fully make out its features. All he can really see standing out is the being's shining gold armor. You are an acquaintance of the Hashmalam Hoyles, are you not? The Yazata asks. Enkidu nods. Master Hoyles, you know him? The Yazata ignores the pointless question. By his request, I am to take you to his world immediately and away from this battle. But I do not understand, Enkidu stammers. I cannot abandon my people. Whatever can be done for the humans will be. We are far better suited for facing this threat than a mortal such as yourself. Enkidu agrees, allowing the Yazata to teleport both him and Haida to Hoyle's world of Halavan in a flash of light. Now the Magog is left alone with the Yazata to decide the fate of the earth. Before the Yazata can celebrate the sealing of the Magog, the creature reappears, shattering its prison and materializing beside Taniel. Taniel attempts to turn and defend as the Magog brings a transformed arm against him. A deep trench rips through the earth as far as the eye can see, but Taniel hovers far above, having narrowly avoided with Shunkonido. The Magog twists its head grotesquely towards the other Yazata and licks its lips. How did it escape? Taniel whispers. That was an Ahura-level binding spell. One of Taniel's officers kneels, picking up several scales, the same color as the Magog, from the ground below. I believe each part of the Magog can become a sentient creature and reform it back to its original state. I do not recall the Magog ever being this strong before. The Yazata blitz the Magog, combining Shunkonido with fast sword strikes. The beast is taken down to a knee as pieces of its flesh are cut off. Releasing its aura in a single pulse, the Magog scatters the Yazata and gives itself an opportunity to heal. The warriors barely move as most are knocked out by the force. Taniel is astonished by the power generated by the creature to be able to accomplish such a feat. Hoping to catch it before regeneration is complete, Taniel lunges at the Magog, but is grabbed by the throat and snatched out of the air. Taniel brings his sword down to sever the Magog's wrist, but his arm is snatched forcefully with its other. Two Yazata crawl back to their feet and weave symbols of binding magic through their minds. Biesi, Mamasham, Uthugo! The Yazatas scream in unison, throwing their arms out, and encasing the Magog in an energy barrier that becomes sealed by an iron shell. Taniel flickers out of the way with Shinkonito as the Magog disappears beneath the sealing spell. The Magog's fist shatters through the barrier, bringing the entire thing down in a flash of light. Taniel stabs his sword into the ground, and 3 other Yazda leap to form a box around the beast, stabbing their swords into the ground in imitation of their leader. Weaving intricate hand signs, the Yazatan swords glow brightly before sending energy to each other and creating a prism barrier around the Magog. Pounding on the barrier, the Magog screams in rage until several cracks appear up the length of the spell. More Yazata step up, adding their power to the binding. The Yazatan hands become hot and their grips on their swords slacken. "Hold steady!" Taniel orders, smoke rising from his own hands. "Do not falter!" Several Yazata let go and are instantly blasted back by the Magog's energy as it travels through their spells and is released through their swords. Fractures ripple through the barrier as it weakens drastically. The Magog howls, leaping through the spell and tackling the nearest Yazata. Biting down into his neck, the Magog is filled with divine energy as it leaks out from the wound. The Yazda screams in pain before exploding in a flash of light that leaves behind only his armor and a black scorch mark on the ground. The Magog looks around in confusion as half of its face and chest have been destroyed by the explosion. As it heals, the Magog attempts to understand why the Shining One detonated upon death. Taniel runs at the Magog with his sword, but as he makes contact, several splinters of diamond chip off into the air. The Magog's arms harden into a black substance even denser than the Yazatan diamond weapons. Delivering a jab to the stunned warrior, Taniel is sent bouncing across the terrain until he crashes against a mound of toppled stone that once comprised a small temple or shrine. Another Yazata attacks, but the Magog blocks and counters with a straight jab to the chest. Yazata doubles over, coughing as the fist sinks into his armor several inches. Pivoting, the Magog grabs yet another Yazata by the face and slams him into the earth. The Yazata crumbles under the creature's strength and goes limp. 3 more Yazata strike simultaneously, consuming the Magog in an inferno of Agnestra Hura magic. Hot as the sun, the blasts dry out the surrounding area and transform everything into dust. The Magog emerges from the flames completely coated by the dense black substance, now resistant to the heat. Using speed so fast that it appears as if by teleporting, the Magog materializes behind one of the Yazata and impales him through the back with his hand. Light escapes out from the wound, and the Magog grins as it feels the life flowing out from the angelic being and into its own arm. One of the other Yazata slashes at the Magog with a head-level swipe, but the creature ducks beneath. With no time to react, the Yazata is consumed by a wave of fire from the Magog's hand, hotter than even an Agnestra spell. Not even a scream can escape the Yazata, as it is completely disintegrated in seconds. In only a few minutes, this creature has adapted to counter our blades and improved upon our spells. Taniel thinks in frustration, questioning how to defeat an opponent that is so reactionary and adaptive. Visualizing the element of earth, Taniel combines it with the element of spirit and conjures stone hands to rise up from the ground. The Magog is clutched tightly, giving the Yazata an opening to attack. Taniel leaps in with his sword, cutting down through the top of the Magog's skull and splitting the beast in 2. Unable to catch his breath, Taniel is hit by a massive energy blast, emitted by the left side of the creature's mouth. The Magog's halves join back together and it flexes to break through the stone hands, restricting it. Taniel rolls back over his shoulder, but as he lifts his head up, the Magog is already on him. Taniel teleports away just as the creature's fist smashes into the ground. Appearing above the Magog, the Yazata conjures a barrage of spears and sends them down to impale the beast. The Magog screams, flaring its aura out in a red flame that disintegrates the spears. Teniel vanishes again and reappears low into the Magog's left rear, rising up with an expert sword slash that removes most of the creature's lower back, ribcage, and chest. The Yazata pivots, swinging horizontally and cleaving the Magog in two. Focusing his energy, Teniel consumes the pieces of the Magog in flames, causing the beast to vanish. As the smoke and dust settles, the Magog materializes from the smoke itself, rebuilding its destroyed body. Do not ease up. Show this creature why we are the most elite fighting force in all of Anshar. Teniel screams, surrounding his body with an aura of white flame. The other Yazata still standing imitate their leader, preparing to go all out. The light is so blinding from the angelic beings that all of the earth is bathed in its glow. Pooling together above their formation, the Yazatan energy becomes a massive golden halo of fire. Nomen Shaddai! Teniel's voice booms over the crackles of divine flame as the fiery halo rotates until the Magog is within range. With a thunderous roar, the fiery halo releases the fury of the seventh choir upon the incarnation of human sin. The Magog is unable to utter a sound before its form breaks apart within the divine flames. The hole is burned into the earth that seemingly has no end. Molten rock boils up from the hole, leaving no trace of the creature. Teniel relaxes, ceasing his divine aura. The seventh choir stands triumphant as always, he brags to the sounding cheers of his army. The Potestas are not necessary when we are deployed first. A halo of black fire appears above the Yazata, releasing a destructive blast several times stronger than their own. Without warning, the Yazata are scattered by the explosion, and many are disintegrated instantly. Teniel dodges with Shunkonito desperately scanning for the attacker. The Magog's face laughs within the black fire, one with the unholy halo. Teniel's sword illuminates with the glow of numerous Yazatan spell glyphs. With a scream, the lieutenant releases a hurricane from his sword that slams into the fire and disperses the flames. The Magog's body reforms with a flash of red light. The creature laughs hysterically, enjoying the back and forth. The Yazata quickly manifests a scroll in his hand and unravels it across the ground. Enraged by the creature's insolence, Teniel closes his eyes and begins to chant in prayer until the ghostly form of an enormous lion manifests before him. Great Spirit Ariel, Lion of God, I beseech thee to destroy this abomination. A ring of fiery orbs encircle Ariel's face like a blazing mane. Roaring, the mighty beast sends the flames against the Magog, causing an enormous explosion. Stomping a paw to the ground, Ariel splits the earth and causes the Magog to fall into a deep pit. Ariel leaps above the pit, energy flashing from a mighty roar that drives into the hole and opens the outer mantle of the planet. Covered in magma, the Magog flies up from the pit in a battle of melting versus regeneration. Ariel digs his feet into the earth, bracing himself, before dropping his jaws open and releasing a tremendous roar. The ground shatters before him, hurling rocks up at the Magog. The creature is obliterated, forced to regenerate from a microscopic level. Appearing behind Ariel, the Magog attempts to grab the beast's tail. The lion spins around, snapping its jaws shut around the Magog. Ariel shakes, struggling to keep his mouth shut as the Magog forces it back open. The Magog breaks free, delivering an uppercut that topples Ariel with a loud crash. Shaking off the blow, Ariel gets back on his feet and roars loudly in anger. The lion's mane flares out and his body swells in size many times over. The Magog has no fear or emotion and cannot be intimidated. A lion that is 5 feet tall is no different to the sinful creature than one 500 feet tall. The Magog screams, releasing a beam of negative energy towards Ariel. The powerful holy beast holds the blast at bay with his roaring, but is soon overwhelmed. The energy explodes and Ariel is again knocked to the ground. As Ariel hits the earth, he drags his massive paws along the dirt and spins around, whipping up a cyclone of dust and debris. Slamming his paws on the ground, Ariel sends the cyclone into the Magog, pushing the creature back. The lion roars, emitting a shockwave that rips the Magog's flesh off and peels the earth before them up like carpeting. Pouncing, Ariel shakes the world, and with the swipe of a single paw, the Magog explodes into a thick black mist. The mist surrounds the lion, causing it to cough and choke. Suddenly, the Magog forces its ethereal mass down Ariel's throat. The lion howls in discomfort and confusion before exploding from the creature within. Taniel lowers his eyes in shame. "I'm sorry, great beast. I am unworthy to call upon your name again." Two Yazata attack from the sides with their chakram, but the Magog blocks the discs with a single finger. The Yazatan weapons shatter on contact, and the Magog attacks in a blur, decapitating one of the warriors with a horizontal swipe of its hand. Taniel teleports to block with his sword, just before the Magog can kill the second. Straining against the creature's strength, Taniel's sword begins to crack before he is knocked aside. Blood runs down the Yazata's forehead and divine energy leaks out from the wound. "Thank you," the Yazata he saved says, catching the lieutenant and stopping him from slamming into the ground. "I hate to ask this in the middle of a battle, but is this all without hope?" "We can still defeat the Magog," Taniel reassures. "No being has infinite strength or stamina. That beast must be nearing its limit by now." "But is that not the point? The Magog has no limitations by design. The sins of humanity have no cap, and by extension, the container for them should not either." Taniel refuses to believe that the Magog has no limits. He finds it absurd that the Creator would design a monstrosity with infinite destructive power. "Support me by restricting the Magog's movement, while I deliver a final blow with all of my strength," Taniel orders his soldiers. Separating from the other Yazata, Taniel stabs his sword into the ground. Holding out his right arm, he braces at the wrist with his left. A violent wind spreads out from the lieutenant, followed by an aura of white fire. White wings of energy unfold behind Taniel, releasing his full power. The other Yazata form a line, closing their eyes and chanting in prayer. Chains emerge from the earth and wrap around the Magog, binding it tightly. They continue to chant, summoning stone hands to hold the creature in place by the shoulders. "Koloma!" Taniel screams, releasing his full divine power. Everything in front of Taniel for miles becomes a blazing inferno. The sky itself ignites, turning the land into fiery death. The Yazata's blast resculpts the shape of the continent and levels mountains. An entire sea is evaporated before the remnant of the energy fades far off into the horizon. Dropping to his hands and knees, Taniel pants with exhaustion. As ash falls upon the dead land like snow, a black mist forms in the sky above. "Impossible," Taniel whispers as the face of the Magog appears within the mist, grinning widely. Three Yazata break off from the main group, weaving intricate hand signs and chanting in their native tongue. The ground quakes as a bright glow radiates out from their unfolding wings. "Glioxy Hydrana!" The Yazata transform themselves into a massive three-headed dragon. The beast has golden scales and feathered wings. Each face is like that of a fierce lion. The Magog is curious, having never before seen transformative magic. The dragon howls, consuming the Magog with holy white fire. Flesh dissolves within the fire, and in seconds the Magog is reduced to nothing. Behind them, a Yazata screams as an arm bursts out from his back. Having left behind a piece of its body within each of those that breathed in its mist, the Magog reforms from the Yazata's body. The dragon turns, firing again and causing the other Yazata to scatter. The Magog dodges this time, narrowly avoiding the holy fire. The dragon does not let up, filling the area with white flames. Another group of Yazata summon magical chains as the Magog dodges, wrapping them around the creature's ankles. Slowed, the Magog looks back at the angels and drops open its jaws, firing a burst of red energy into their midst. The blast scatters the Yazata and breaks their spell, but the Magog is caught in the next blast of holy fire from the dragon. As its body is consumed, the Magog slashes through its left arm, allowing it to fall to the ground before the flames reach it. "Destroy the pieces!" Taniel screams, watching the Magog mutilate its own body, so that it will be able to use it to reform later. Several Yazata fire energy blasts at the arm, reducing it to ash. Another Yazata screams, the Magog again reforming from his body. "Lieutenant, we have no way of knowing who inhaled that smoke earlier. Any one of us could have pieces of the Magog inside of us." Taniel does not know what to do. If he calls for a retreat, he will have to admit defeat to the Magog. If he does not end this battle soon, more of his soldiers will be killed. The Yazata's pride has been shattered, and all illusions of his choir's elite fighting ability have been put to shame by the Magog. The Magog leaps at the dragon, slashing through the neck of the center head. Severed, the head transforms back into the form of an injured Yazata soldier. Turning, the Magog slashes through the left head, and finally the right, until the dragon is no more. The Magog stands over the injured Yazata and grins, transforming its own arms into spears. Other Yazata run forward, pelting the Magog with bursts of energy and pushing it back enough for the wounded to be dragged to safety. Angered, the Magog runs through the blast, swatting some away and enduring others. The Magog heals as fast as it can be damaged and reaches the retreating Yazata quickly. The Yazata try to fight against the creature, but it is much more agile and faster than they. The Magog slashes through the warriors, dropping them with claws across their chests, faces, and midsections. Some of the Yazata fall, divine energy leaking out of the wounds along with blood. Others continue to fight against the pain and drag their comrades to safety. Seeing his elite warriors picked apart, Taniel is filled with shame. No foe has ever humiliated him so, and the Magog still has yet to show the bulk of its power. Picking up his now cracked sword, Taniel raises it high into the air and shouts to his remaining forces. "Full retreat! Gather any wounded and return home!" The Yazata Shunkonido away, leaving the Magog to its victory. The planet slowly dies underfoot, plants withering with each step of the Magog, as it heads westward and towards the end of humanity. Lieutenant Taniel lowers his head, kneeling before the Sarum princes. As the governing body of Anshar, the Sarum carry only the most important matters to the Creator, while handling all others themselves. A delegating body of 13, each comprises a current or promoted former member of each of Averno's elite choirs. The Sarum are among the only beings in existence with an ability to gain audience with the Creator. Rather than the shining armor of the Seraphim or the white robes of the Aralim, the Sarum wear plain robes for humility, embroidered with the insignia of the choirs they were selected to represent. Your attack on the Magog resulted in the deaths of 39 of our brothers. This was the single largest loss of Yazata life since the final days of the Second War of Falling. Was anything valuable gained through our sacrifice? Mikhail, leader of the Sarum and general of the First Choir, asks. Once the fiercest of all of Anshar's warriors, he understands military tactics better than anyone else, and the need to sacrifice in order to gain in rare occasions. The Magog can alter its chemical composition to become harder than our diamond blades, and is resistant even to celestial levels of heat. I have seen nothing like it before. Mikhail nods, taking it all in. He remembers the first time the Magog was unleashed, and how it culled the human population to a mere handful of individuals before being stopped by the Potestas. At the time, all Yazata were prohibited from the earth for their creation of the Nephilim hybrids. Is there anything else to report? Its intelligence seems primitive, and a possible weak point, but it possesses a remarkable adaptability. It was able to recreate and improve on fire elemental attacks after only experiencing them, performed on it once in combat. It was, however, easily distracted and frustrated by problems it could not solve. If you were faced against the Magog again, could you defeat it knowing what you do now? No, Tanya replies, shocking the others. Without a weapon or strategy I know will be effective against the creature. We would just be throwing more bodies at it. Is it your recommendation that we proceed directly to the deployment of the Potestas? Taniel nods. It is. The destroyers are the only force capable of defeating the Magog without making the Kisha realm uninhabitable for many generations. What of the humans? Jibril, another Sarim, asks. Do you condemn them to die as well? Their sin is what brought the Magog life. Who better to be punished than the very beings from which this disaster sprang? Taniel replies. The Sarim begin to discuss matters in whispers that the lieutenant cannot decipher. Are you familiar with Hoyles of the world of Halavan? Jibril asks. I am. He is the Hashmalam Watcher for the Kisha realm, as well as several hundred other worlds. Hoyles has petitioned for another course of action, a plan, he says, that can save the lives of millions of sentient beings. He is a shepherd, not a warrior. He cares about the humans too much to be able to make rational decisions regarding them. You believe him to have grown too attached to humanity? Mikhail asks. The lives of the humans are no more important than those of the Provokians, the Un, Chosians, Terlagians, and Ostrahans, or the thousands of other sentient species of the universe. When the Magog is finished with Kisha, do you believe it will stop there? The beast does not require air to breathe, food to eat, and is resistant to temperatures and pressure. The vacuum of space will have no negative effect on the creature. It will be able to transverse vast distances, and will systematically eliminate all life in the universe if it's not stopped. His strategy requires time. Do you believe it to be impossible to hold off the Magog to buy Hoyles that time? I believe that any plan jeopardizing more Yazatan lives to be foolish. I will not watch any more of my brothers be killed just to possibly save those monkeys. Careful with your words, Lieutenant. You are speaking dangerously similar to the philosophies of the Devilnay, Mikhail cautions. Taniel grinds his teeth, wanting to say that he doesn't see where the Devilnay were wrong in their beliefs, only in the method of their open rebellion. He decides against speaking out for fear that one or more of the Sarim will move for his dismissal, or worse, his banishment. What is it that the Hashmalam hopes to accomplish? Taniel instead asks. He doubts that any plan not designed by a warrior will result in failure. He has a student, a human that shows great potential. He hopes to take the time to complete his training, Jibril explains. With all respect, that is absurd. How can he train a human to become stronger than a Yazata in a few hours, or however long it is that he needs? I've trained for millennia, and even I could not defeat the Magog. Taniel scoffs at the idea of a human becoming stronger than him. The human carries our blood. He is a descendant of the Nephilim. Need I remind you what a hybrid is capable of? The hybrids have the potential to become many times stronger than either human or Yazata alone. The training Hoyles has already given him. Enkidu was able to defeat the Sakari invading army. But not alone, Taniel interrupts, drawing glares from several of the Sarim. He had the aid of the human magicians, who are some of the most skillful they have ever produced. It was hardly a solo victory. Mikhail quickly adds his own comments. And he will have your aid when it is time for him to face the Magog. Taniel stands, no longer maintaining the illusion of respect. It seems as though your minds are already made up. When Enkidu lies dead in failure and the Magog eradicates all life in this universe, I will merely look upon you and smile, knowing that I was correct. This destruction will be upon your heads to wear. I will not participate. He tears the emblem of the 7th Choir from his robe and drops the blue sash of a lieutenant with it to the floor as he leaves the assembly. Mikhail sighs, waving several Seraphim guards over to block Taniel's exit. Arrest him for dereliction of his duties. He will be given the opportunity to plead his case to the judges when the crisis has abated. Taniel spits at Mikhail's feet with hatred as he is taken away. Monkey lover, he shouts. Go down there and fight the Magog yourself on behalf of the apes you love so much. Stop having others fight and die while you stand in assembly and play politician. As Taniel is taken away, Mikhail calls for his personal armorer, a small-framed Yazitan named Runiel, and asks him for his equipment. Adorned with the golden crown emblem of the Sarum, Mikhail prepares for battle. Waruniel begins to hand him his diamond-bladed sword and its golden sheath, still decorated with the 1st Choir's insignia of a roaring lion, but is waved off. Taniel spoke truth that without effective weaponry, it will all be for naught. If the Magog can harden its skin to be resistant to our blades, and the heat of even Ahura-level spells, I need to come at it with an even more powerful weapon. Mikhail allows Waruniel to finish equipping his armor and then heads to the massive cage-like structure, stretching up all the way into the atmosphere and down into the ground several miles. The heavenly armory stands as a majestic edifice, a testament to divine craftsmanship and celestial grandeur. From the outside, its towering walls are built with shimmering alabaster imbued with the pearlescent glow that emanates a celestial aura. The architecture is a harmonious blend of celestial motifs and intricate celestial engravings depicting celestial beings in various stages of triumph over darkness and evil. As Mikhail ascends to the heavenly armory, he is greeted by a magnificent sight. The armory stands as a colossal structure, its towering walls adorned with celestial symbols and glowing runes. The architecture is both ethereal and awe-inspiring, with intricate carvings depicted battles and divine victories. Every 700 feet is guarded by a 4-faced, 4-winged creature called a cherubim. The cherubim predate the Yazitan creation by millions of years and do nothing but stand in constant vigilance. At ease, the face of a cherubim is very much like that of a Yazita or a human. When provoked, the creature's head shifts right and becomes the visage of a hideous boar-like monster. As Mikhail approaches the cherubim, he witnesses their magnificent presence. The cherubim stand tall, towering over him, with a blend of strength and grace. Their countenance is radiant, with eyes that shine like blazing flames, reflecting wisdom and divine knowledge. Their wings span wide, shimmering with iridescent feathers that embody the brilliance of the celestial realm. The cherubim's forms are adorned with intricate patterns and symbols, representing their celestial origins. Their appearance is a testament to their divine status, emanating a sense of authority and power. They are adorned with celestial armor, gleaming with light and adorned with precious gems that symbolize the glory of the heavens. Though awe-inspiring, the cherubim maintain a sense of serenity and tranquility, their presence exuding a profound sense of peace and wisdom. They radiate an aura of divine protection and guardianship, embodying the virtues of justice and holiness. Mikhail approaches the cherubim with reverence, seeking their aid in his righteous quest. Their presence fills him with a sense of purpose and determination, knowing that he stands before the guardians of the Creator's might, ready to face the embodiment of sin and bring about divine justice. The mere presence of a cherubim is an overwhelming experience that elicits a unique blend of awe, reverence, and tranquility within those who encounter them. These celestial beings, with their immense size and divine countenance, emanate an aura of absolute majesty and power. As one gazes upon their magnificent form, a sense of insignificance and humility washes over them, reminding mortals of the vastness and grandeur of the Anshar realm. The cherubim's awe-inspiring presence is accompanied by a profound calmness that envelops the surrounding space. Their celestial energy radiates a soothing and serene aura, transcending mortal worries and fears. In their presence, mortal anxieties and doubts would be alleviated, replaced by a profound sense of peace and reassurance, as if these divine beings carry the weight of God's wisdom and divine order, offering solace and harmony to those who would encounter them. However, the feelings evoked by a cherubim are not limited to awe and calmness alone. These creatures possess an undeniable air of authority and power, which can also instill a sense of reverence and trepidation in mortals. Their very presence commands respect and demands obedience to the Creator's principles and laws. Even other divine beings are humbled by the immense celestial power and the magnitude of their purpose, prompting them to approach the cherubim with utmost reverence and caution. The awe, calmness, and reverence experienced in the presence of a cherubim are intertwined with the deep understanding of the hierarchy and the cosmic order of the Anshar realm. Yazata that encounter the cherubim are reminded of their place in the grand scheme of existence, fostering a reverence for the Anshar realm and the desire to align their actions with the Creator's virtues. The encounter with the cherubim serves as a humbling reminder of the divine majesty and the eternal pursuit of celestial truth and righteousness. It's through this delicate interplay of awe, calmness, and reverence that the cherubim invoke a profound impact on those who encounter them. Lower beings are simultaneously filled with a sense of insignificance in the face of their magnificence, and embraced by a comforting presence that brings solace and tranquility. A mortal being would not be able to withstand being in the mere presence of a cherubim, and would be crushed by their divine aura alone. Even Mikhail finds it difficult to remain near the cherubim, sweating and breathing heavily. The cherubim embody the harmony of the Anshar realm, leaving an indelible impression on the Yazda and awakening their connection to the forces that govern the cosmos. The cherubim says nothing, leading Mikhail to a particular area guarded by another gatekeeper. Noble cherubim that guard the armory, please grant me the use of one of your weapons with which to protect all life in the universe from the Magog, Mikhail pleads, dropping to a knee in respect. Several of the nearest cherubim rotate their faces through the bore for being bothered, before transitioning to an eagle-like face while thinking the matter over in more depth. None of the Yazata know what the fourth face is. The cherubim communicate telepathically to the Creator, keeping their mouths shut tightly. If they were to speak, any lower being in their presence would immediately die. Mikhail is granted access into the holy armory of the cherubim, escorted by the first gatekeeper. Entering the armory, Mikhail is surrounded by an array of celestial weapons and artifacts, each one pulsating with divine energy. The shelves are lined with swords forged from radiant metals, spears adorned with heavenly sigils, and shields adorned with intricate angelic designs. The air is charged with a sense of power and holiness, and the armory resonates with the echoes of countless battles fought in the name of righteousness. Weapons and armor used to defeat primordial behemoths that predate even the Yazata by millions of years lie in the shelves. As one enters the armory, they are greeted by a vast expanse of celestial splendor. The interior is adorned with murals that depict battles, other realms, and the triumph of righteousness. The colors are vibrant and radiant, ranging from luminous golds and silvers and purples, reflecting the regal authority of those who forged them long ago. The armory is organized meticulously with unbelievable precision. Swords, spears, and other weapons are arranged in ornate displays, suspended in midair by celestial energies. The blades, forged from divine metals, gleaming with an ethereal light, carry inscriptions of pre-Yazatan scripts, embodying the power infused within them. Divine armors, intricately crafted from alloy, stand on mannequins exuding an otherworldly brilliance. Each piece is embellished with celestial symbols and engravings, representing the virtues they embody. Shields adorned with motifs line the walls, radiating energies of protection and defense. Divine banners and pendants fluttering with unseen winds hang from arches in the rafters. Ancient emblems and symbols of orders much like the current choirs of the Yazata. These relics serve as a reminder of past victories and the eternal struggle between forces of light and darkness. Amidst the weapons and armor, scrolls and tomes can be found, containing divine knowledge and ancient incantations. Orbs of divine light float mid-air, casting a gentle glow throughout the armory, illuminating the vast treasures and creating an ambience of sanctity and purpose. In the heart of the armory lies the sanctum of divine armaments, a chamber where the most potent and sacred weapons are safeguarded. The sanctum radiates an intense celestial light, illuminating rows upon rows of artifacts, imbued with God's might. It is within this sanctum that Mikhail seeks the divine weapon capable of vanquishing the Magog, the embodiment of sin. The heavenly armory is not just a repository of ancient weapons, but a sacred sanctuary where celestial might is harnessed and preserved. Its splendor and the treasures inside inspire a sense of divine purpose and the resolve to stand against the forces of darkness. The two cherubim converse in a deep hum that Mikhail does not understand. Solus clamo, the first cherubim tells the other. This does not appear to sit well with the second. That weapon is not for the Yazata. They cannot handle its power. This one is an arche, and one of the highest ranking at that. I believe if any of them can handle the Solus, he can. He will not know how to use it properly, the other one argues. If he misses, he will destroy not only the planet, but likely the entire star system. I will explain to him the necessity of accuracy. The second gatekeeper begrudgingly retrieves a golden orb encased in a crystal container. This is the Solus Clamo, the first cherubim tells Mikhail telepathically. The Solus is the very essence of a star. You will only have this single opportunity to use this once, and you cannot miss. If you miss, the Solus will destroy the entire planet, and likely much more. Will it be enough to destroy the Magog? Mikhail asks. If you can connect with a direct hit, the Magog will cease to exist. Thank you, Mikhail says, taking the Solus. With this, I may be able to save that human from ever having to face the Magog after all. Enkidu and Haida materialized in a dazzling burst of light, their forms outlined against the backdrop of the celestial realm of Holovan. The air, crisp and pure, filled their lungs with oxygen that seemed to invigorate their very being. As they took in their surroundings, they were greeted by a world of ethereal beauty, untouched by the hands of mankind. Holovan, a primordial and heavenly realm, unfolded before their eyes with a tapestry of natural wonders. Lush forests stretched as far as the eye could see, their verdant canopies alive with a symphony of chirping birds, buzzing insects, and the gentle rustle of leaves. Trees, majestic and towering, reached skyward, their branches swaying in a harmonious dance with a soft breeze. The flora of Holovan flourished in an array of vibrant colors and exotic shapes. Flowers of unimaginable beauty bloomed, their petals boasting blues and hues that surpassed the spectrum known to mortals. Fragrances carried on the wind enveloped Enkidu and Haida, filling their senses with intoxicating perfumes that blended seamlessly with the natural symphony around them. Crystal-clear streams meandered through the land, glistening with water so pure it seemed to possess its own inner light. Fish of mesmerizing colors darted through the shallows, their graceful movements akin to an aquatic ballet. The soothing sound of water trickling over rocks provided a serene melody that permeated the air. Holovan's sky is a celestial canvas, stretched above them in a breathtaking display. Sunlight filtered through the wispy clouds, casting ethereal beams that danced upon the landscape. Glistening stars, adorned the azure expanse, their brilliance rivaling the gems of legend. The occasional streak of a shooting star added an element of magic to the already enchanting scene. Deer and majestic creatures roamed freely, their movements harmonious and unhurried. Birds of extraordinary plumage soared through the heavens, their songs carrying messages of joy and tranquility. The sight of a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, unfurling delicate wings of iridescent beauty, was a testament to the ever-present cycle of life. Enkidu and Haida marveled at the wonders of Halavan, awestruck by the coexistence of heavenly and earthly elements. They felt a profound connection to this realm, where the ethereal met the mortal, and where nature's splendor remained unspoiled by the touch of man. In this angelic place, they were reminded of the awe-inspiring harmony that could exist between the realms of spirit and flesh. Flora and fauna that thrived in the sacred domain exhibited enchanting qualities that surpassed mortal imagination. The towering trees, their branches reaching towards the celestial heavens, were adorned with leaves of vibrant hues. The foliage seemed to shimmer with a glow, as if each leaf held a fragment of stardust within its delicate veins. Halavan's meadows were a carpet of blooms. Blossoms of every color imaginable dotted the landscape. Flowers of exquisite shapes and iridescent petals danced in the gentle breeze, their colors blending seamlessly to create a kaleidoscope of hues. Among them, luminescent butterflies flitted and glided, their delicate wings adorned with patterns reminiscent of constellations. Their presence added an ethereal charm to the already breathtaking vista. The lakes and rivers of Halavan shimmered with crystalline clarity. Waterfalls cascaded from great heights, their silver ribbons mingling with mist that carried the whispers of celestial melodies. Within these pristine waters, magnificent schools of fish swam. Skies were a canvas painted with wonder. As Enkidu breathed in the air of Halavan, he felt an extraordinary surge of vitality coursing through his veins. It was this the very essence of the realm, the spirit energy that permeated the air, infused him with newfound strength and harmony. The ethereal energy embraced him, intertwining with his being and awakening a deep connection to every aspect of the natural world. With each inhale, Enkidu could sense the pulsating life force that flowed through the plants, the creatures, and even the very earth beneath his feet. It was a symphony of energy, resonating with the rhythms of creation itself. As this energy mingled with his own, his senses sharpened, and became acutely aware of the subtlest details of his surroundings. Enkidu's worries and fears seemed to dissipate in the embrace of Halavan's spirit energy. The weight of his burdens was temporarily lifted, replaced by a profound sense of serenity and belonging. In this realm he felt truly connected, as though he had discovered a part of himself that had long lain dormant. Within the divine realm of Halavan, Enkidu encountered magnificent creatures that surpassed the bounds of anything he had ever before seen. These extraordinary creatures were unique to this divine sanctuary, embodying the harmonious blend of magic and nature that permeated the realm. One such creature was the Luma Sprite, a delicate iridescent insect-like creature that emitted a soft radiant glow. Luma Sprites flitted through the air, their wings adorned with intricate patterns reminiscent of stained glass. Their presence illuminated the surrounding foliage, casting a gentle, ethereal light that danced among the trees. Another wondrous creature was the Sigilline, a majestic avian being with wings of opalescent feathers that shimmered with a multitude of hues. Sigilline soared gracefully through the skies of Halavan, their melodious songs echoing through the celestial expanse. They were believed to be messengers of the divine, their presence bringing a sense of tranquility and hope to all who encountered them. Among the enchanting creatures that inhabited this divine realm, the inhabitants of Halavan displayed astonishing diversity. There were elegant deer-like beings, their antlers adorned with gem-like ornaments that reflected the light of the realm. Graceful serpents coiled around ancient trees, their scales glistening with opalescent hues. Majestic feline creatures, their fur marked with patterns that mirrored the constellations, roamed with regal poise. Unique beings, such as the ethereal Silphur, flitted through the air, their delicate forms adorned with shimmering wings like gossamer threads. These beings were believed to be the embodiment of the winds, carrying whispers of ancient knowledge and secrets from distant realms. In the depths of Halavan's crystalline waters, Enkidu marveled at the Naiades, aquatic beings, with shimmering tails that glowed with an inner luminescence. They moved with an ethereal grace, their presence evoking a sense of mystery and enchantment. The Naiades were said to possess the ability to heal and purify, their touch imbued with the rejuvenating energy of Halavan's divine waters. These extraordinary creatures, among many others, were the guardians and embodiments of the divine realm, manifestations of the mystical and harmonious energies that permeated Halavan. Enkidu, immersed in their presence, felt a deep reverence for these unique beings, appreciating the intricate beauty and divine balance they represented. The Kar-Upas, a quadrupedal creature reminiscent of a triceratops, roamed the celestial meadows of Halavan. Its majestic form boasted a sturdy frame, adorned with robust scales that offered protection while exuding a regal aura. Its 3 formidable horns, curved and sharp, served both as a symbol of strength and a potent defense against any who dared threaten its tranquil realm. In the verdant landscapes, the Kujata gracefully moved, its presence exuding an air of serenity and wisdom. Resembling a bovine creature, it possessed a gentle disposition and a majestic countenance. Its large luminous eyes seemed to hold ancient secrets, and the soft resonance of its calls carried messages of peace and harmony throughout the divine realms. The Karkadan, an awe-inspiring creature that inspired tales of unicorns, captivated Enkidu's gaze. Regal horn spiraling from its head, it radiated an aura of grace and purity. Its shimmering coat, adorned with hues that shifted like iridescent silk, made it seem as if it were bathed in celestial light. Legend spoke of the Karkadan's ability to heal and purify, bestowing blessings upon those worthy of its presence. Deep within the mystical waters of Halavan, the Nang roamed, a predatory sea whale of immense proportions. Its sleek and sinuous form moved effortlessly through the depths, its iridescent scales glinting with shades of azure and turquoise. The Nang possessed a voracious appetite, yet it maintained a delicate balance within the underwater ecosystem, a testament to the divine harmony of this realm. Among the heavenly plains, the Buraks galloped with unparalleled majesty. These mighty horses, infused with the divine radiance, possessed breathtaking beauty and incredible speed. Their coats shimmered with an otherworldly glow, and their hooves seemed to barely touch the ground as they raced across the celestial expanse. Buraks were believed to be the steeds of celestial beings, carrying them swiftly between the realms. Amidst the hidden corners of Halavan's terrestrial realm, the Ningonek lurked, a formidable predator of fearsome appearance. Its formidable physique, measuring 14 to 15 feet from nose to tail, was clad in armored scales reminiscent of an armadillo. Its leopard-like coat boasted a mesmerizing pattern, blending seamlessly with the realm's natural beauty. The Ningonek, long, broad back and powerful limbs, resembled that of a hippo, while its thin tail and prominent fangs added to its menacing visage. It was a creature that commanded respect and awe. As Enkidu and Haida continued their exploration of Halavan, they encountered even more breathtaking natural sights that seemed to defy the boundaries of mortal imagination. The primordial realm unfolded before them like a painter's masterpiece, with every detail meticulously crafted to inspire wonder and awe. They came upon a cascading waterfall, its crystalline waters tumbling down rugged cliffs in a mesmerizing display of power and grace. The sheer force of the falls created a delicate mist that enveloped the surroundings, creating an ethereal ambience. Rainbows danced in the spray, adding vibrant ribbons of color to the already enchanting scene. A vast meadow stretched out before them, a carpet of emerald green grass speckled with a kaleidoscope of wildflowers. Butterflies of all sizes and hues flitted from bloom to bloom, creating a living tapestry of vibrant movement. The air was alive with the gentle hum of bees, busy pollinators, and the perpetuation of life in this idyllic realm. Enkidu and Haida ventured deeper into Halavan's heart, where they encountered a dense forest of towering trees, their trunks adorned with moss and vines. Sunlight filtered through the canopy above, creating patches of dappled light that danced upon the forest floor. Ancient and wise, these arboreal giants whispered secrets known only to them, their presence imbuing the surroundings with a sense of ancient wisdom. The shores of a tranquil lake beckoned them closer, its surface reflecting the pristine blue of the sky above. Graceful swans glided across the water, their elegant forms leaving ripples in their wake. Fish, their scales shimmering with a rainbow of colors, broke the surface occasionally, creating concentric circles that expanded and dissipated, merging with the tranquil rhythm of the lake. High above, perched upon craggy cliffs, a colony of magnificent birds of prey made their home. Their majestic wingspans unfurled as they soared effortlessly on thermal currents, surveying their dominion with watchful eyes. Their piercing cries echoed through the air, a testament to their regal presence in this untamed sanctuary. Halavan's natural splendor seemed infinite, offering a kaleidoscope of landscapes and creatures that celebrated the beauty and diversity of the natural world. Each step revealed a new wonder, a new harmony of life and elements. Enkidu and Haida felt a deep reverence for this realm, a sanctuary where nature's creations thrived and flourished in perfect harmony, untouched by the chaotic hand of mankind. "Welcome," a voice says from behind. "Are you ready to finish your training and ascend to a level of strength never before attained by humans?"